Do you want to know a little bit about my altar?
Sure.
My altar here is all of these stones I've had for a long time, but the place I like to start with is right over here with this pin that I have. And it's a present. And you should always try to be in the present because the present is always a gift, especially if you can stay in that moment. Because moment by moment, life changes. And enjoy each and every moment that you have because it is important. And that is what being present means. And so I keep this on my table to remind myself and anyone that I'm reading for to be present, to stay present in the moment and enjoy that moment of your life. It's very important. Another gift I have here is a little leprechaun. And yes, I am Irish. And a friend of mine that I've known all of my life, all of my life is since I'll say 5 years old that I've known her. And she gave that to me. And it was something that meant a lot to her. It had been her mother's. And she gave it to me because of our connection and just that shared energy. She gave that to me. I have an angel out front here because I do work with the angels. I was doing a meditation one time and asked, and I opened my eyes and I looked up, and there was an angel in the sky. And I took a photograph of her, and she's actually up on my webpage as my angel. She's actually presented herself to me recently, and I have more pictures of her, although I haven't gotten them up on my website yet. But someday I'll get that done. This here is a stone called lepidolite. Lepidolite was actually my nickname when I was studying in college, and the rock is a very micaceous rock, which mica, as you all know, is very shiny. So this is a very shiny micaceous rock. It also comes in this darker grayish purple, all the way through lavender colors, and it's just my favorite rock, and so I keep that one of those on my altar. Rose quartz because it connects us to our heart space, and very calming. Mother energy. Mother energy is very important to keep around you because it connects with our base chakra and keeps us grounded. It helps keep us grounded, and so does the rose quartz. This is green quartz, and it is here because it represents healing. The color of green actually is a representation of healing, and so that's why I have that here. I have a pyramid here in the center because I believe that the alignment of the pyramids has a lot to do with the connection to the earth and the universe and everything that's here and within us and everything that's above and beyond us. And it helps connect all of those energies. And so that's why I have a pyramid. This is, this one is tiger's eye. And it is just very good for knowledge and connectiveness and healing energy. The same with amber. This is a piece of amber. And last of all, of course, a piece of quartz crystal, because quartz resonates. It creates a vibration. Everything in this world is vibrational. And if you can resonate with the vibration of crystals, you become a very grounded and stable and whole person. It really does help with that grounding. So, no further ado. Oh, one last thing. I have these bells here because I believe in cleansing and the cleansing of sound. And before actually I started, I had done this, but bring our energy to a certain space here. And this here was a little candle, but in the space that I'm doing this, I've been asked not to we do not have any fire in this area as it's very dangerous. And so I do have a candle here for the representative of the light and love. but we are not going to light it today because we also believe in being safe. So our intention today, I usually ask you to set an intention. If you'd like, you can set a personal intention, but I have a bit of attention I would like to set today, and that is really just for all of us to find our own balance, our own healing, our own wellness through messages that we receive and balancing ourselves within one's own self. And thank you so much for joining me today. I really love you. I love being with you. I love sharing this energy that I have been gifted with and learned how to share. So what I do is I do actually a 6-card reading. It's one that I basically, you get these readings in books. This one I've basically created myself. The main deck of cards are the actual messages. The second set is often how helps us give a direction on how we reach that message, that goal, how to make it happen. So you'll see as we go along how that works. And we just pull cards randomly, however they come out, because I've set the intention. I said some prayers before we started and asked that the right messages come through for us today. Okay, I can flip these up. First card I have for us today is the Two of Water. And it has to do with relationships and about how relationships grow closer. And everything has its cycle, whether it be a relationship, whether it be a job, whether it be a religious practice, whether it be any type of spiritual practice. Everything has to do with relationships, your relationship with another thing. And so I know for me what this card means. And because it is the Two of Water, to me that is a relationship between one-on-one, two people for myself. And I realize that right now I'm building a greater relationship with someone. And that's what this card means to me. And it has to do sometimes with relationships breaking down. It has sometimes to do with relationships growing. And mostly because it is the Two of Water, it has to do with the flow of a relationship. So that it, as we know with water, we have the tide. So water ebbs and flows and moves back and forth, as well as our relationships move back and forth. It is actually suffocating and stagnant to be in a relationship where somebody holds on to you constantly and holds you down. And so relationships are very flowing and have to do with the energy of water. And so today I feel that card, I find the connection in that card. And we each have our own connections. As we read, the meanings that I get from a card might not be the same as yours. They may be different. We can be doing this at the same time, but you may be thinking of another person that you have been growing a relationship with, or maybe even one that's been falling away that you would like to bring back. So know that is also ebb and flow of waters. It has ebbed away, and you're ready for it to flow back in. The next card I have that supports this card is Abundantia. And abundantia, this is, I guess I should have started here first. The two decks that I'm using today is both actually by Doreen Virtue. And the first is her Angel Tarot, and the second is her Goddess Guidance cards. And her Goddess Guidance cards are actually the first cards that were ever gifted to me. And so this deck has always been very true, very clear, and very clean with readings. And so back to the reading though, this card is about abundance and prosperity and the universe pouring its abundance. And in order to do that, all the abundance can flow and come to you, but in order for it to be effective, you have to be open to receive that abundance. You have to be open to receiving this ebb and flow as relationships go. So that's where the abundantia card comes in, is that prosperity of abundance. And the glory of abundance is that we all don't want the same thing. If we did, our world would be depleted so quickly. But the glory of humans is we all want something different. And that's what helps make enough in this world for each and every one of us. So abundance there is, and the prosperity is being open to receiving it. The next card I have for us today is the Six of Fire. And it is about victory and the good news of that victory. So if you personally have been investing in something, your energy into something that is true and dear and meaning to you, that victory is on its way. It is prevalent, it is in front of you. And the reason why I say that is in readings generally, your first card is a little bit about what's been happening, the past. The middle card is the present, and the latter card is the future. And so this card is about what is present right now in holding us. And that victory of good news is on its way. Now, if it is a struggle that you've had with a relationship, this may be telling you that that trouble that you've been having with that relationship and this flow of this water is victory and coming your way very soon and very shortly. And that is a great gift. And sometimes in order to bring those energies into ourselves, we must take some quiet time and time for ourselves to actually learn about ourselves and know about ourselves. And finding that quiet time where we can find our own energy. As you see on this card, Sage has an energy around her. We each carry an energy around us at all times. And sometimes that energy does get dark. And often that energy gets dark because we're being clouded by the influence of others that is taking our true self, our true knowing of who we are away from us and trying to influence us into being more like them. The longer we can stay within ourselves and who we are, the more comfortable we are within our own self, our own bodies, our own souls. That actually brings you to a place of wisdom, healing, and wellness. It is the balance of wellness is to be in that place. And so I see that spending a little quiet time, maybe even thinking about that relationship and the prosperity of that relationship and the victory of bringing that relationship wholly and back to oneself may come in spending some quiet time with just you and getting back to who you were. Maybe you've changed a little bit and maybe you're not the person that you used to be. And this person maybe wasn't very comfortable with that difference. And maybe this quiet time will bring you back to this place where that relationship was working and was wonderful. The next card I have, like I said, is moves more towards the future of this. And this card is the King of Earth. And the King of Earth is about generosity, being professional, being responsible, and also being practical. Not letting yourself get too far from center. Life is a balance, and becoming too far from center confuses us, and it confuses the people around us. And so we really have to think about, being that. Also, this card is telling me that it is a very successful time. That goes back to having victory. So being successful is a multitude of things. Success is not measured by others. Success is measured by oneself and how you feel about it and what is successful to you in the direction that you want to go and where you're at in your life on this day, being present. And so, but with this card, it also tells me that you have the ability to touch and bring in what you need. It's even references down here, the Midas touch. And Midas, as you know, was, I believe, a Greek god. And whatever he touched turned to gold. He had the Midas touch. And that's why Midas is used a lot in advertising. Midas, what is it, tires or wheel alignment? I mean, different companies use that name because it is golden. And that's what this card is bringing in, is you have the Midas touch right now. And whatever you work on, whatever you set your goals at, whatever you set your intention to, should develop and come about, because you have that energy about you right now. And this is all about energies that you have around you, because the world is vibrational. Colors are vibrational. They vibrate. That's why I choose to use these, beautiful purples and greens and stuff, because they bring my energy to a place where I just feel exuberant and wonderful and flowing. And so I love to be around these colors. And with that, we talked about flow earlier. Well, Sulis is about being near bodies of water. And being around bodies of water also helps ground us. Water vibrates, as you well know. The ebb and flow of the ocean, you can see it moving in and out. It's very vibrant vibration. A small stream that's just trickling, has a very calming, energetic vibration. Even if you're sitting at a lake, the edge of the lake, the water will lap up against the edge. And that's also the water's moving, and it's creating a vibration within the earth. And as you sit there, you hear it, and you hear it lap up. It also brings us to the flow. Another thing water does is water brings us to an energy of also communication, because conversations are an ebb and flow. We speak and then we listen. And we should never listen to speak. We should always speak and listen so that the other person is heard, not listen so that we can have a comment to comment back. Because that is not a conversation. That conversation is only in your head. It's not about the conversation between two people. So always be present in a conversation so that ebb and flow of the waters. The other thing this card also represents, that it is time for you to spend some time near water. And water does calm us and bring us to a level of energetic balance. Like I said, it has an ebb and flow. The tides come in and out, which all is in equilibrium and brings you to a center of balance. So to recoup on this, now that we're at our last card, it tells a story. And the story is that you have had some personal relationships that maybe have been out of sync or out of flow. That Two of Water is bringing those relationships back into flow, and it is part of your prosperity and the abundance. That person was abundant, and the relationship energetically was just prosperous to you in your life. And I'm not talking prosperous money, I'm talking prosperous energy, healing, love, kindness, joy, grace. And that's what prosperity really brings you, is all of that. And if you find yourself at that place, usually that energy will also lead to you bringing in more money. It also flows back to you're becoming victorious. Even though you may need to spend some quiet time focusing on what your victory truly is. Sometimes we don't see everything as our victory, but victory comes in different forms and is not always what you want, but is always more than likely what you need, especially if it is victorious. Being generous and practical and having that Midas touch also brings in these victories, because what you touch is going to bring prosperity back into you. And don't forget to be near bodies of water to ground and hold yourself tight by spending a little quiet time near those bodies of water. May allow you to do a little more thinking that will bring this relationship full circle. And that is what I have to share with you today. I hope it resonates with you. It truly resonates with me and what's going on with my life right now. And I appreciate you coming here today and sharing your time with me. Time is valuable. And I really appreciate you spending that time with me. And I just like to leave you with, find a little body of water, spend a little quiet time, and watch the abundance and prosperity flow. Thank you so much for joining me today. Bye-bye.